Have you ever thought that the very vegetable sitting in your fridge could quietly raise your risk of a stroke while you sleep? No chest pain, no warning signs. Just one morning, you wake up and everything is different. In this video, I'll share with you 9 common vegetables. Vegetables we've trusted our whole lives to be healthy. But after 60, if eaten the wrong way, at the wrong time, or mixed with certain medications, they can quietly turn into a risk for your brain and your memory. Together, we'll discover why this happens, real stories from people just like you, and most importantly, simple choices you can make to protect your mind and your independence. Let me tell you about Harold, a 76-year-old retired firefighter from Milwaukee. Every evening, he kept a routine: a bowl of spinach salad and a slice of whole grain bread. He believed it was his secret to staying strong and keeping his heart young. But one winter morning, his wife found him slumped over the table. Coffee spilled, words tangled. He had suffered a silent stroke, not from alcohol, not from cigarettes, but from the very salad he thought was keeping him safe. Harold's story is a reminder that after 60, our bodies don't respond the same way they used to. And that's why today, I want to walk with you through the hidden truth behind the vegetables sitting right in our kitchens. Spinach and oxalates. When superfood becomes a silent threat. Spinach. For decades, it has been called a superfood, packed with vitamins, minerals, and iron. And yes, it truly is one of nature's most powerful greens. But here's something most people don't know. Spinach is also very high in oxalates. Oxalates are natural compounds found in certain plants. When oxalates build up in the body, they can bind with calcium. And over time, those crystals can make your blood vessels stiffer, even raising the risk of blockages in the tiny arteries that feed the brain. Scientists at Harvard have studied oxalates for years. One large study found that diets extremely high in oxalate-rich foods can increase the chance of kidney stones and poor blood circulation. And while spinach is healthy in moderation, for seniors, especially those taking calcium or vitamin D supplements, it may become a hidden risk. Let me share with you a real story. Mr. Harold C. Gold, a 76-year-old retired firefighter, ate a spinach salad almost every evening. He believed he was protecting his heart, but he also took daily calcium tablets for his bones. The combination quietly increased his oxalate load. One winter morning, his wife found him unable to speak clearly. He had suffered a mild stroke, not from junk food, but from the very salad he thought was keeping him strong. So, what's the lesson here? Spinach is not bad. It simply needs balance. Enjoy it in small portions. Cook it, because heat lowers oxalate levels. And avoid pairing large bowls of spinach with calcium supplements at the same time. This is not about fear. It's about awareness. And awareness is what keeps us safe. Now, if spinach, one of the healthiest greens we know, can carry a hidden risk after 60, what about other common vegetables like broccoli? That's where we're heading next. Do you eat spinach often? And did you know about oxalates before today? Broccoli and vitamin K, the double-edged sword. Broccoli. It's one of the most loved vegetables in America, rich in fiber, vitamin C, and antioxidants, a true powerhouse for the immune system. But broccoli also contains something many seniors don't think about: vitamin K. Vitamin K plays an important role in blood clotting. It helps wounds stop bleeding. But for people who take blood thinners, like warfarin or Coumadin, too much vitamin K can throw everything out of balance. Here's how it works. When you eat large amounts of broccoli, vitamin K can make your blood thicker. That means the medication you rely on to keep your blood at the right level may not work the way your doctor intended. And suddenly, your risk of a clot or a stroke increases. This isn't just theory. The American Heart Association notes that over 3 million older adults in the US take warfarin to prevent blood clots. For them, a sudden change in broccoli intake, either eating much more or suddenly cutting it out, can cause dangerous swings in their blood tests. Let me tell you about Clara. She was 82, a retired elementary school teacher. Every night, she proudly served herself a big bowl of steamed broccoli. She said, "It keeps my heart young." But Clara was also on blood thinners for her heart condition. Week after week, her test results became unstable. One afternoon, she collapsed with a brain bleed, not because of junk food or high blood pressure, but because her blood had become too thin to clot properly. So, what's the lesson here? Broccoli itself is not the enemy. It's about consistency. If you love broccoli, you can keep eating it, but keep your portions steady. Don't swing from none one week to every day the next. And always let your doctor know about your diet. Awareness is power. And when we understand how even healthy foods interact with our medicine, we can stay safer, stronger, and more independent. Now, if broccoli, one of the healthiest vegetables we know, can create this hidden risk after 60, what about a simple salad green like romaine lettuce? That's what we'll uncover next. Do you eat broccoli often? And did you know vitamin K could affect your blood thinner medication? Romaine lettuce. And hidden dehydration. Romaine lettuce. Crisp, light, refreshing. For many of us, it's the foundation of a healthy salad. But here's something surprising. Romaine lettuce has a mild diuretic effect. That means it gently encourages the body to pass more urine. And while that doesn't sound dangerous, for seniors, especially at night, this can quietly create a problem. When you lose extra fluids in the evening, your blood can become thicker while you sleep. And thicker blood makes it easier for tiny clots to form. Clots that can block blood flow to the brain. Doctors have long warned about dehydration in older adults. A study from the University of Connecticut found that even mild dehydration can reduce alertness, increase fatigue, and stress the heart. For people over 60, the risks are even greater, because the body's sense of thirst naturally weakens with age. Let me share a real example. Mr. Leon, a 75-year-old grandfather, loved his evening salad. Every night, a big bowl of romaine lettuce, olive oil, and a few croutons. But he also took medication for high blood pressure. One night, after getting up twice to use the bathroom, Leon suddenly collapsed on his way back to bed. Doctors said he had experienced a minor stroke, made worse by dehydration during the night. So, what's the lesson here? Romaine lettuce isn't bad. It just matters when and how much you eat it. Enjoy your salad at lunch or in the early evening. And if you do eat romaine later at night, be sure to drink enough water during the day. Awareness means freedom. And with small adjustments, we can enjoy the foods we love while keeping our brains safe. Now, if even a light salad green can cause trouble at night, what about something sweeter, like raw carrots? That's what we'll explore next. Do you usually eat salad at night or earlier in the day? And do you think dehydration has ever affected your sleep or energy? Raw carrots and the blood sugar roller coaster carrots. Crunchy, sweet, refreshing. A favorite snack for many seniors. But here's the part most people don't realize. Raw carrots have a higher glycemic index than cooked ones. That means when you eat them raw, your blood sugar can rise quickly, then drop suddenly a few hours later. This roller coaster effect puts stress on your blood vessels. A quick spike, followed by a sharp fall, can make your arteries tighten and increase the chance of tiny clots forming. Nutrition scientists have studied this carefully. The Glycemic Index Foundation notes that raw carrots score around 47 to 50, while boiled carrots score closer to 35. It's not extremely high, but when eaten at night, especially without protein or fiber, that swing can be enough to trigger problems in older adults. Let me tell you about Mrs. Leah. She was 78, living alone, and loved to snack on raw baby carrots in the evening. "They're healthy, they keep me full," she would say. But one morning, after a restless night, she woke up dizzy and her speech was slurred. Doctors found she had experienced a minor stroke, likely connected to her sharp blood sugar swings at night. So, what's the lesson here? Carrots themselves are not harmful. They just need to be eaten wisely. Have them during the day instead of late at night. And if you do enjoy carrots in the evening, pair them with a little protein, like hummus or a boiled egg, to keep your blood sugar steady. Awareness gives us choices, and choices keep us strong. Now, if something as innocent as a crunchy carrot can set off this blood sugar roller coaster, what happens with a powerful natural medicine like garlic? That's what we'll talk about next. Do you often snack on raw carrots at night? And did you know cooked carrots can be gentler on your blood sugar? Garlic. Nature's blood thinner with risks. Garlic. For centuries, it has been praised as a natural medicine. It lowers cholesterol. It supports the heart. And it even fights infection. But here's the hidden side. Garlic also has strong blood-thinning properties. It contains compounds like allicin that can make your blood less likely to clot. That sounds good, until you realize what happens when garlic is combined with prescription blood thinners. According to the National Institutes of Health, high doses of garlic, especially in supplement form, can increase the risk of bleeding, particularly for seniors taking medications like warfarin, aspirin, or Plavix. Some hospitals even recommend stopping garlic supplements at least 1 week before surgery because of the bleeding risk. Let me tell you about Mr. Thomas. He was 81, a retired accountant. Every day, he took his prescribed warfarin to keep his blood thin. But Thomas also believed in natural medicine. So, without telling his doctor, he started taking garlic capsules. At first, nothing seemed wrong. But one morning, he woke up with a severe headache and blurred vision. At the hospital, scans showed a brain bleed. Not from trauma, but from blood that had become too thin. So what's the lesson here? Garlic is not dangerous in cooking. A clove or two in your meal is usually safe. But concentrated garlic supplements are a different story. If you're on blood-thinning medication, always talk to your doctor before adding garlic pills or extracts. Awareness helps us keep the benefits of garlic, without exposing ourselves to unnecessary risks. Now, if garlic, a healing food used for thousands of years, can still cause problems when combined with modern medicine, what about another kitchen staple like onions? That's what we'll explore next. Do you use garlic often, just in cooking or also in supplements? And have you ever told your doctor about it? Onions and the risk of low blood pressure. Onions. They bring flavor to almost every dish. Soups, salads, sandwiches, stews. For centuries, they've been valued as both food and medicine. But onions also contain something powerful, a plant compound called quercetin. Quercetin has natural antioxidant effects, and research shows it can help lower blood pressure. For many people, that sounds like a good thing, but here's the risk. If you're already taking blood pressure medication, adding large amounts of raw onion to your diet can push your blood pressure too low. And when blood pressure drops suddenly, your brain may not get enough oxygen, raising the risk of dizziness, fainting, and even small strokes. Studies from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirm that quercetin supplements can significantly reduce blood pressure. And while onions in cooking are generally safe, raw onions, eaten in large amounts, can intensify the effect of prescription drugs. Let me share a story. Mr. George, an 80-year-old retired bus driver, loved raw onions. Every evening, he added big slices of onion to his sandwiches. He also took medication for high blood pressure. One night, George stood up from his chair and felt the room spinning. He collapsed, hitting the floor. Doctors found his blood pressure had dropped too low, leaving his brain briefly starved of oxygen. So, what's the lesson here? Onions are not bad. Cooked onions in your meals are safe for most people. But if you love raw onions, be mindful of how much you eat, especially if you're on blood pressure medicine. Balance and moderation make all the difference. Awareness keeps us safe, and with a little knowledge, we can enjoy the taste of onions without fear. Now, if onions, a common kitchen ingredient, can quietly lower blood pressure too much, what about a starchy vegetable like corn? That's what we'll uncover next. Do you enjoy eating raw onions, or do you prefer them cooked? And have you ever noticed your blood pressure dropping after certain meals? Corn and the sugar spike problem. Corn. Sweet, golden, and comforting. From corn on the cob at summer barbecues to popcorn at the movies, it's a food filled with warm memories. But corn is also very high in starch. That starch quickly breaks down into sugar in the body, which means after eating corn, your blood sugar can rise fast and then crash down just as quickly. This roller coaster effect puts stress on your blood vessels. The spikes can damage the lining of your arteries, and the sudden drops can trigger dizziness, weakness, or even small clots. Researchers at the University of Sydney report that sweet corn and cornflakes both have a high glycemic index. Cornflakes, for example, have a GI of over 80, which means they raise blood sugar almost as fast as pure sugar. For seniors, especially those with diabetes or heart disease, this swing can be risky at night. Let me share the story of Mrs. Darlene. She was 77, a retired nurse. Every evening, she enjoyed a small bowl of buttered corn while watching TV. She thought it was harmless, better than chips or candy. But one night, she woke up feeling faint and confused. At the hospital, doctors discovered she had suffered a minor stroke, likely connected to unstable blood sugar during the night. So, what's the lesson here? Corn is not the enemy. It's about timing and balance. Enjoy corn in the daytime and pair it with protein or healthy fat to slow the sugar spike. Choose whole corn over cornflakes or popcorn drenched in butter. Awareness allows us to enjoy traditional foods without putting our health at risk. Now, if a sweet comfort food like corn can cause such sharp blood sugar swings, what about a green vegetable like asparagus, known for its diuretic effect? That's what we'll explore next. Do you eat corn often? Maybe corn on the cob, popcorn, or cornflakes? And did you know how much it can affect your blood sugar? Asparagus and nighttime dehydration. Asparagus, tender, green, elegant. For many, it feels like a special vegetable, often served at nice dinners or holiday meals. But asparagus is also known as a natural diuretic. That means it makes your body flush out extra water. It happens because asparagus contains asparagine, an amino acid that increases urine production. Now, during the day, that might not cause much trouble, but at night, it's a different story. When your body loses extra fluids while you sleep, your blood can become thicker. And thicker blood means a higher risk of clots forming in the small vessels of the brain. Researchers from the Mayo Clinic have noted that dehydration, even mild dehydration, can raise the risk of headaches, confusion, and poor circulation in older adults. And because our sense of thirst weakens as we age, we may not even realize how much water our bodies need. Let me share the story of Mrs. Joanne. She was 79, a retired librarian. She loved asparagus. Almost every evening, she would steam a plate of asparagus with lemon. It was her healthy dinner. But Joanne also took medication for high blood pressure. One night, after waking up twice to use the bathroom, she suddenly felt weak, dizzy, and collapsed near her bed. At the hospital, doctors explained she had suffered a minor stroke, made worse by dehydration overnight. So, what's the lesson here? Asparagus is not the problem. It's a wonderful vegetable, full of vitamins and antioxidants. But timing matters. If you enjoy asparagus, try eating it at lunch or earlier in the day, and always make sure you're drinking enough water, especially if you take medications that already increase urination. Awareness lets us enjoy asparagus without letting it put us at risk. Now, if asparagus, with all its health benefits, can still create problems when eaten at the wrong time, what about tomatoes, a vegetable so common in soups and sauces? That's where we'll go next. Do you enjoy eating asparagus often? And do you usually have it at lunch or at dinner? Tomatoes and stroke mimics tomatoes. Bright, juicy, and found in almost every kitchen. From soups and sauces to salads and sandwiches, they're one of the most common vegetables in the American diet. But tomatoes also contain compounds that can sometimes cause problems. Two of them are histamine and tyramine. Both of these chemicals can affect blood vessels in the brain. They may trigger headaches, dizziness, or even symptoms that look like a stroke, even when no clot or bleed is actually present. There's also solanine, a natural toxin found in nightshade vegetables like tomatoes and potatoes. In sensitive people, solanine can cause muscle weakness, confusion, and nausea. Doctors sometimes call these episodes stroke mimics because they look and feel like a stroke. Slurred speech, weakness on one side, sudden confusion. But when doctors run the scans, they find no blood clot and no bleeding. A study in the journal Neurology found that up to 25% of patients admitted for suspected stroke were later found to have a mimic condition, triggered by food sensitivities, medications, or other health issues. Let me share the story of Mrs. Geraldine. She was 83, a retired piano teacher. Every night, she enjoyed a bowl of tomato soup before bed. She said it was her comfort food, warm, simple, and soothing. But one evening, not long after finishing her soup, she felt numbness in her arm. Her speech became garbled, and she panicked, thinking she was having a stroke. At the hospital, scans showed no clot, no bleed, but doctors suspected a stroke mimic, likely triggered by compounds in the tomatoes. So, what's the lesson here? Tomatoes are not bad. They're rich in vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants. But eating them late at night, or in large amounts, may trigger uncomfortable or even frightening reactions in some seniors. It's safer to enjoy tomatoes earlier in the day and in moderate portions. Awareness helps us separate true risks from false alarms. And it gives us the power to eat with confidence. Now, after looking at all 9 of these common vegetables, what matters most is not fear, but balance, timing, and listening to our bodies. That's the real path to protecting our brains and our independence after 60. Do you often eat tomatoes in the evening, maybe as soup or salad? And have you ever felt lightheaded or strange afterward? What seniors should eat instead? After looking at all these hidden risks, you may be wondering, so what can seniors safely enjoy? The truth is, vegetables are still one of the best gifts nature gives us. The key is choosing the right ones, eating them at the right time, and preparing them in ways that protect our health. Nutrition experts from the American Heart Association recommend plenty of vegetables rich in fiber, antioxidants, and low in oxalates or vitamin K swings. These foods support brain health, stabilize blood sugar, and keep circulation steady. Here are some safer, brain-friendly choices for seniors. Kale, rich in vitamins, but with lower oxalate than spinach. Cauliflower, similar to broccoli, but with much less vitamin K. Zucchini, gentle on digestion and low in starch. Bell peppers, packed with vitamin C, yet without the blood-thinning risks of garlic. Pumpkin, a naturally sweet option, lower in glycemic impact than corn or carrots. Let me share a small story. Mr. Howard, 72, wanted to eat healthier but felt overwhelmed. So, his doctor suggested a simple swap. Replace his nightly spinach salad with a kale and bell pepper mix. Within weeks, his energy improved, his blood pressure was steady, and he felt confident that he was nourishing his body without fear. So, what's the lesson here? It's not about removing vegetables from your plate. It's about making small, smart swaps, replacing high-risk choices with safe, nourishing alternatives. By doing this, you still enjoy the colors, the flavors, and the comfort of vegetables, while protecting your brain and your independence. Awareness creates freedom, and freedom allows us to live not with fear, but with confidence. Now, as we bring everything together, let's look at the bigger picture and talk about the final wake-up call: how to live with balance, peace, and wisdom after 60. Which of these safe vegetables, kale, cauliflower, zucchini, bell peppers, or pumpkin, do you enjoy the most? And are you open to swapping them into your meals more often? Here's the truth. After 60, our bodies are not the same as when we were 30 or 40. The foods that once gave us strength can affect us differently now. This doesn't mean we should fear food. It means we need awareness. And with awareness, we can make small adjustments. Adjustments that protect our memory, our independence, and the years of life still ahead of us. A bowl of spinach, a plate of broccoli, or a cup of tomato soup. They are not bad. They just require wisdom. The wisdom to know when to eat, how much to eat, and how to balance. Because in the end, it's not about restriction. It's about freedom. The freedom to keep living with clarity, energy, and peace of mind. So here's my final call to you. Take a moment to reflect. Think about the vegetables you eat most often, and ask yourself, how can I enjoy them more wisely? Comment below and share the vegetable you eat the most. And if this video opened your eyes, share it with someone you love. Because one simple choice could protect their brain, their health, and their future. And if you'd like more tips to protect your health after 60, don't forget to subscribe and join our community. Together, we can age with wisdom, strength, and peace of mind.